Hi, everybody. It's Cindy here with Temperature Creations. It is Monday, September 30th, 2024. Welcome. I'm just going to make sure my volume is up. I am fighting a cold because on top of everything else, why not? As you hop on, say hello so that I know that you're here. It has been a few weeks since I've been able to go live, and my apologies for that. Family definitely is number one priority to me all the time. And unfortunately, we've had a few major crises, emergencies over the last few weeks that have had me quite distracted and spending time with family, trying to get some resolutions, these kind of things. So I'm hoping and praying that we are headed on a right path and we can get back to some sort of routine again. So I see Janet and Sandra are here. So hello. So as you hop on, say hi so I know that you're here. If you're new, welcome and thank you for joining me. If you are returning, thank you for coming back and being with me through all of the bumps and bruises that we've been going through as of late. So these projects that I have for you tonight, actually, hi Julie, were projects that I had planned to do with you last week, but obviously I was not able to go live. It's been a very stressful and emotional week. And so I'm really hoping that this week will be the turning point of getting back into a regular routine. I am trying to prep for the soiree as frantically as I can. It's only 19 days away, which causes me a great deal of anxiety. I'm usually 110% done by now, and I'm sad to say that I'm not even anywhere close to where I want to be at this point. So my apologies for that, but I am working feverishly to get those all done and out the door. So I cannot believe we're at the end of September already. I'm not sure where September has gone. So thank you for joining me. Okay, so I see we have some people on. So let's get started and I will show you what I had prepped for you last week. And I was very, very grateful that I actually had these projects already prepped and ready to go. So it was one less thing for me to worry about this week. So my intent was to always stay a project ahead. And unfortunately that has not happened. So let's go and I will show you what we are showcasing tonight. So tonight we are going to showcase the Frozen Edges bundle. It's on page 50 of your catalog. And I'm showcasing this one because I think it's one of those gems that maybe get overlooked, right? I fell in love with this card immediately as soon as I saw it. And then when I got looking a little bit closer, I really liked this one. And these dies are very intricate, but they're really fun. So I want to be able to showcase a few of those cards for you. It's honestly, I think you look at it and you go, oh, I have snowflakes. And yeah, we probably already have snowflakes, but I feel like this one is a little bit different than what we've seen before. So I'm going to do some heat embossing tonight. I have die cut and embossed everything just to make it go simpler because my machine is actually out in the other room. And I know the die cutting and embossing part is kind of boring when you're watching. I know if I'm watching a video, I tend to skip ahead to the part where they're not die cutting and embossing, just for simplicity's sake. So let's start off with, sorry, I'm like fighting an absolute terrible cold. Okay, let's start off with this one here. So again, I've already pre-cut and embossed things. So this is Smoky Slate is the color I'm using here. This is going to be my inside. Now, the thing I want to showcase about this, now Sharon was able to actually do this card with me at my team retreat, so she's quite lucky. And Susan too, if she's on. I'm not sure I've seen her name. But the really cool thing about this die is that there are parts of this die that punch out, like these little dots. But there's parts of these dies that don't. They just lift. So I think the part that wowed everybody when I did this card at the cottage was that they expected all these little snowflakes here to cut out, and they don't in fact do that. So it's kind of cool because you can kind of make them do what you want them to do. So what I've done is I've just taken the piece of cardstock and I moved them, the die over as far as I wanted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these snowflakes here, but I'm going to use our white craft ink. And I'm going to randomly stamp this on the side here. Now, if you had our gold or our silver metallic ink pads from before, this would look really awesome with that as well. So I'm going to take, this is Pretty Peacock that I'm using right here. And I'm going to take my snowflakes. Now, my white ink, there we go, okay. So I'm just going to stamp, see how pretty that is? Now, white craft ink does take a second longer to dry because it is pigment-based, it's not water-based, right? So you just want to be very cautious to not rush this process. I'm going to have to mute my chat. Okay. So I have white craft ink on my gloss mat. So I'm just going to take a second and wipe that off. But as I'm doing that, I am wondering how many of you are enjoying this cooler weather. To me, it's definitely fall. I don't think I'm ready for fall. And actually, my daughter reminded me that a year ago today, we were at the cottage that I rent with my team. And I said, well, aren't we lucky that we got the cottage a few weeks earlier because the weather was almost too hot to be sitting outside a few weeks ago. So I'm glad we changed the week. All right. So you'll have to comment to make sure that I know that you're there. And we may have to do a prize tonight. What do you think? Oh, there's more comments. Okay, Belinda, that's okay. Chris says she's liking it. Chris, I don't think you even noticed because I didn't notice until after I was starting to pull away. But I was at the stoplight with you yesterday. And I went, oh, I think that's Chris, as I was starting to move ahead. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in my Pretty Peacock. And I am going to actually, so there's a couple things I can do here. I could butt this up directly, or I could just bring it in and give it a little bit of a border, which I think is what I'm going to do, just because I think it looks a little nicer not to be completely. Yeah, Bev, the weather's hurting for me. I know, you know what? I've noticed my back more when the weather changes, and I find I get a lot more headaches when it gets like changing in the weather. But my back especially, I notice it. They tell me I don't have arthritis in my back, and I kind of wonder how that's even possible to not have arthritis in my back at this age, but, or at this rate. Okay, so you see how pretty that is? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I've cut out the circle from Spotlight on Nature. But do you know what I actually did do yesterday? I have misplaced the pokey end for my Take Your Pick tool. It was here on my desk, I thought, and it's no longer here on my desk. So I'm not really sure if it has fallen someplace. Please tell me other people lose it. Mine falls out all the time. So, I'm hoping I'm not the only person that... Hi, Kathy. So yeah, so tonight I have to tell you, like after having such a stressful and emotional week last week, well, last few weeks have been, but last week was over the top. And I was so excited to actually get home in decent time tonight and just actually have a dinner at home and, you know, just have some time to relax before I came over to do my video, maybe come over a few minutes early, work on some things. And I ended up being at work until 6 o'clock. Not really by choice, but anyway, I was a wee bit frustrated. But okay, so for this one, I'm going to use Snuggle Up and Hope for Snow. I do not want to hope for snow by any means, just so that we're clear. But if it is going to snow, I'm definitely going to snuggle up because I am not a winter person at all. I hate being cold. I actually wear flannel pajamas all year round. My mother-in-law bought Maya and I the most amazing, and I have to tell you, the most amazing velour pajamas for Christmas a few years ago. And they're like my favorite pajamas in the whole entire world. I am just looking for my Pretty Peacock ink, which I have put right here beside me, because of course that's where it belongs. And I'm going to use my Pretty Peacock ink. Now on my original card, I actually used a blue, but I'm going to use Pretty Peacock ink for this one. Okay. So my office is like incredibly cold. Like I have everybody has their heater on all day long. We're bundled up in blankets. I do not want snow yet. I do not, by any means. If we could have the weather we've had for the last couple of weeks, I would be quite content. But the reality is, that is not going to happen. Okay, my fingers are like... Okay. These stamps are fantastic because they're so sticky, but they're so sticky. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take a little bit of tear and tape. And if I can find the end of it. And I'm going to place it here. And here. And here. Probably not exactly where I wanted them, but anyway. So I'm using my bone folder to press down my tear and tape so that I can come in. If I had my poker from my take your pick tool, would be super duper handy. So I'm going to, excuse me, bring in this ribbon. So this ribbon, what is this called? It's iridescent shimmer ribbon with striped trim is what it's called. It's beautiful. Can you see how pretty that is? And then so what I'm going to do is I want to, this is the top. So I'm going to take this. So I was trying my best to post some replays, some old videos that I had done as like throwbacks while I was not able to go live. So I hope you had an opportunity to watch those because the techniques on those ones were super fun. And I was hoping that would be a good alternative to me not being able to be live with you. So it's kind of a bummer when you have everything planned and then something gets thrown into your monkey wrench and it throws your life upside down. But unfortunately, that's kind of the way it's been going. So yeah. So I'm going to place my dimensionals here. So I'm doing 4 dimensionals, and I'm actually going to place this I don't really want to cover up these beautiful snowflakes. I have to tell you, do you guys join Facebook groups and then you get bombarded with chats? Does this happen to you? Because I've joined a really awesome group, but right now I'm getting bombarded with different chats, and I just, honestly, my mindset is not in the right spot to tolerate the millions of messages. Okay, so there's the first card. Okay, now I could probably put some butterflies here, or butterflies. Those aren't butterflies. They're snowflakes here as well. I'm going to show you my original card. That's my original card. So you can see I actually used like a boho blue here instead. And my white is a little bit more vibrant on this card, but I could have put my circle anywhere. Okay. So it's a super simple card. This die, honestly, I have to tell you, really is not a difficult die to use. You know how sometimes they're very intricate and they're very hard to cut through? This one is not like that. So keep that in mind when you're... Actually, I'll show you the dies. So these are the dies. I'm losing my voice as well on top of everything else. So I've used it quite a bit already. And then these ones, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these. And then we have some loose snowflakes that we can use as well. Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, exactly. I'm just not, my mind isn't, I just can't deal right now, honestly. But I'm worried to mute the conversation because I'm worried that I will forget to do what I need to do. And I'll miss something super important. So it's the only reason why I haven't muted it as of yet, but I just can't, anyway. Okay, so card number 2, let's do this one. This one's a different size card. So I've gotten into this thing where I'm starting to do like cards that are not necessarily, oh, you know what? You're going to have to wait for me because I forgot to. No, I didn't. I've gotten into doing cards that are not just your standard card size. Just because I think they're fun, and I think it kind of reminds us that we don't always have to do an 8.5 by 11 card cut in half. So this one is actually 4 inches by 4 inches. So it's actually 4 by 8, and then I've cut it in half. Excuse me. And the reason I've done this is because I figure you can still put it onto a card front. So let me grab this card. So I could essentially still put this onto a card front if I wanted to, right? Or I could have it go this way. So I could kind of have it like be like a double card if I wanted it to, even if I wanted to. So what I've done here is I have actually embossed all of my white paper with this incredible snowflake embossing folder. And it's one of my favorites. I actually thought it was retired. I don't know why. It's not. So I have taken another piece of design or white cardstock, and I have embossed that with the snowflakes. Can you see those snowflakes on there? They're very, very beautiful. So I'm putting this on here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. Like this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in our stamp set again. This is where we're going to get into some heat embossing. So I'm going to take this snowflake right here. I do not enjoy being sick. I'm actually not crazy sick. I'm just, excuse me, sick enough to say I'm annoyed. Okay, so I am using this snowflake. I'm going to bring in a piece of Pool Party. Okay, I am going to bring in my embossing buddy. This is my original embossing buddy. This is like very first. Like this is like almost 20 years old, this embossing buddy here, friends. If you don't have an embossing buddy, I think you can buy one in the book now, can't you? If not, a dryer sheet will work. It's not the most amazing, but it will work. Okay, so then I'm going to use my Versamark, which I don't know. Oh, I do have my Versamark. See, I was so prepared last week. I was going to nail this video, and meanwhile... okay, so I'm just stamping my snowflakes randomly on to my pool party. Now, you cannot see what I'm stamping right now on camera. Excuse me. So that's my Versamark. So Versamark is a watermark type ink pad. And I'm going to actually place this into my tray. I am going to use my white embossing powder. And I'm going to sprinkle this all over. I'm going to cover that up so I don't knock it over. Okay. I'm just going to give it a flick. See if I missed anything major. I don't see. Okay. So now I'm going to take my heat gun. It's right here. And I'm going to heat these. So it's going to get very loud here for just a second. So just wait for it. I'm going to see if you can tell on camera. It's now a powder. But what you will see happen is this will change to a liquid. It does take a second, but see, once it starts going, can you see the transformation? Once the gun is warm enough and it heats, you will see it change. It does get extremely hot, so you really do want to make sure you're watching your fingers. Maybe grabbing, there's crafting tweezers you can get. This was the first technique that really sold me. When I saw, actually two-step stamping, but then when I saw heat embossing, I was like, that's it, I'm so doing this. So the trick with heat embossing, truthfully, is heating it enough, but not overheating it. So how do you know if you've heated enough and not too much? You actually will tell, like this is dry, like I can touch this now. But if you feel any powder still, I'm going to tell you that it's not heated enough. If you've overheated it, it kind of goes like flat, and it doesn't look good. So there is kind of a happy medium there as to which way you want that, like which way is a good and a bad heat. Okay, so these ones did not turn out so amazing for me. So what I've done is I've actually pre-cut the snow drifts, if you can call them that. I don't know if that's what you call them, probably snow drifts. Or icicles. Icicles, let's call them icicles. So I've gone ahead and I have actually pre-cut these. And I actually cut two because I really wanted to kind of give it extra dimension, because I thought one just didn't look to be enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these down together, and then I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut the thickness down that I want. So a lot of times I prefer to actually cut larger and then scale down, because I don't like to fight with things. I don't like to fight with paper, especially. I like things to kind of just, I'd rather cut it down than have to try to make it work somehow, right? Okay, so there's that. So now I'm going to put this, excuse me, at the top. So I'm really going to cut about there, along there somewhere, with my paper trimmer that happens to be right here beside me. Okay, And I'm going to cut about there. And you see, I'm just guessing, right? Like I'm not measuring, because, you know, that's funny. Why would I measure? And so I'm going to glue that down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my paper trimmer, my paper snips. Ugh, words are hard. Words, my friends, are so hard. You have no idea. My paper snips, and then I'm going to cut that down. Okay, so I'm just lining this up at the top like this. I'm going to just take these. I could do this with my paper trimmer as well, but I'm just going to take my paper snips. These are not my Stampin' Up! Paper snips, by the way. Because I don't know where I've put those. Actually, I took those to the cottage with me. I shouldn't say that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I can use this, I guess. I'm going to use Wishing You a Cozy Day is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to stamp this in Pool Party. And we're going to do something super fun here. I love doing this, and I always forget to do this part. So hopefully you're sticking with me to check this out. Now, sometimes I feel like this kind of looks a little sloppy, this technique. But sometimes I think it looks really super cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors. Okay. My goodness. Okay, so wishing, it's going to be one word. You will be another. Oops, it is. And then Cozy Day. Let me go down this way first. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my mini dimensionals. First of all, I'm going to close up my ink pad because you all know that I'm going to stick my hand in that in about 30 seconds, and then you're all going to laugh at me. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to take my mini dimensionals. These are left over from like a paper pumpkin or something. Oops, daisies. Okay. Now, like I can't even, I think I've got about 50 messages since I've started this video. Wishing you so this is really fun because you can cut up your sentiments, right? Oh, Laren, you're in Cuba. Honey, wish I was with you. I don't want to cover up my little beautiful snowflake here is what I was trying to avoid. So let's do this instead. No, I'm going to do this. I didn't want to cover up this snowflake. Oh, I have not, Cheryl. Yes, Bev, you're right. You can burn your paper. You can burn your embossing. So always be cautious. Okay, so now I am going to put this on top of my, oh gosh, I have my dimensionals in like the third drawer. I don't know why I should have it up higher. So I'm going to use my dimensionals to pop this up. Okay. And then here is, that's not even on straight, but let's just pretend it was. Let's just pretend it is. So now if I wanted to take my Wink of Stella, I could actually just make it look like my icicles have a little bit of shimmer to them, which you won't see on camera because it's so subtle. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we're very jealous of you. Okay, so here is my original card, and here is my second card. Okay. Okay, so that's card number 2. Now, my last card, I'm really hoping I can remember what my thought process was here. So my last card, I'm just using the thick white cardstock, and I'm using the white snowflakes. We got snowflakes on there. And then I went ahead and I die cut each of these pieces. So what I wanted to do here is put this here, but what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to use, see, this is, I'm going to use the stamp that is not yet put together. It says, "Let yourself rest," which I think is a nice stamp, because I think sometimes we forget that we also need to rest, but I think this would be a really really great get well card and such. Okay, so I've peeled back my sticker. I'm placing my stamp on top. Okay, I'm going to put that back in there. I'm going to put, I don't know if I cleaned that or not. I can't remember. But I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to stamp, "Let yourself rest." I'm going to wait, actually, to stamp that. Let's go ahead and let's put this down. And I'm going to be really gutsy. I'm going to do something I tell you not to do ever. But I'm going to do it anyway because, well, heck, it's my card. And if it's my card, I'll just fix it. Normally, I tell you don't glue anything down in case you mess up. Then you can flip it over. But I'm feeling a little bit daring tonight, so what the heck. Okay, so I'm putting my pool party down. Now, when you have embossing, you know you need to put extra adhesive down, right? Now, if I really was thinking, I probably would have done the adhesive sheets for this, but I wasn't really thinking. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. Okay, and then actually just take this and do that for a second. And then I'm going to put my adhesive here. I'm going to put that there. Okay. And the reason I didn't stamp my image yet for my sentiment was because I wanted to make sure that I knew where to stamp this. So I'm going to do it right there. And I was going to do it in Pool Party, but I actually think I'm just going to do it in black. I find that sometimes using black as your ink to do your sentiment is just so sharp. So Now, let's see. You guys still with me? You guys are really, really quiet tonight. Hi, Linda. Okay, so then I have die cut out a lot of these snowflakes. And what I'm actually going to do is just kind of fill in these snowflakes where I see fit. But I'm going to actually do these with my mini dimensionals. And the reason I'm doing that is because I kind of want these ones to pop up off my page a little bit. Just to give them a little bit of dimension, hence the dimensionals. So, and the great thing is, by adding these extra snowflakes, I can hide the little spots where my top and bottom pieces don't really cover the pool party. So it is really an awesome way to just fill in some extra spots. And then what I would like to do, if I think of it and if I have them close by, is I would like to put some gems in the middle of my snowflakes just to make it dressed up a little bit. So I'm just going to fill in my snowflakes. And of course, I don't need all these snowflakes that I've die cut. I'm just randomly putting what I think I need. So I'll leave it up to you how many you want, how many you don't want. Do you think I need a spot somewhere? Oh, you know what? I probably shouldn't have put that same snowflake there. I don't like putting two snowflakes beside each other, like I did here. Just because I like to make it look a little bit different. Okay, so I can continue to do that and just fill in my snowflakes where I need. Just filling in my card with some love. I'm trying to do these random, and you know me, me and random, we don't do random. Okay, I am not kidding you. I think I have got way more than 50 messages since I have started this video in this group chat. Like, I'm at the point where I'm so annoyed I may just like leave the group altogether, which is really too bad. But okay. So there. Is that pretty? Whoops. Let's take this off. Isn't it pretty now? And let me see. Do I have any gems close by? Let's see if we have any rhinestones. Probably not close by, but I don't. Okay. Did I take them to the cottage? No. Okay, so I don't have my rhinestones close, so I'm not going to stress out over that. But let's just recap. So we have this card. We have this card. So still pool party. And then we have this card. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, did you notice this stamp in the book? And what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it on your list? Is it on your list now? All the things I need to know. Inquiring minds want to know. What do you think of this stamp set? It's okay to say you don't like it. It's okay to say you're not going to buy it. But I'm going to tell you, this one actually kind of surprised me a little bit. Thoughts? I'm just putting my supplies away while you guys are talking. I know, that's, you know what? On my list for tomorrow's order. I did like it and ordered it a while ago. See, I did too, and I haven't used it. I noticed it, but I want other things more. I have so many snowflakes already too. Yeah, I honestly, I love the intricate. I think that's my thing. I love the intricate designs. Like the icicles, I'm going to tell you, I was like, what am I supposed to do with those? I don't know. I don't know what to do with icicles. But I kind of like it, kind of using those icicles as like an element, right? Or like a background, or, you know, kind of adding that that design to it, right? Because I wasn't sure how else to use it. This one I absolutely love because I think it's just so pretty. And obviously the card I did at the cottage, those that were at the cottage with me, that was one of our swap cards that we did. And I thought, what a beautiful set. And I figured it was probably one that everybody had maybe saw, but kind of like Chris, like, oh, I have so many snowflakes, because I am the same, Chris. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't need any more snowflakes. But then when I saw the dies cut out, I thought, okay, those are kind of pretty. I kind of like those. And I like the fact that some stand, like they don't all cut out. So some of these you can actually stand up because they kind of pop out. And some of them lay flat. Like it's a really cool die, I have to tell you. So I feel like this one is either you like it or you don't. Like, I feel like it's not one of those, man, I don't know. So yeah. Okay. That's all I have. I am going to be very honest with you. I am not likely going to go live on Thursday because, friends, I don't have anything ready. And I know some people can go live and not have anything ready. That is not me. I am a planner. So I will try to post something. Maybe a challenge or a sketch that you guys can do and then post your pictures or something. So again, I'm really trying to kind of get back onto a schedule of some kind. And honestly, it's a day-by-day basis, to be quite honest. I'm being perfectly honest. So fingers crossed that things are starting to kind of head in the right direction. And yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming and staying and spending an hour with me and putting up with me on and off all the time. So thank you so much. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye, everybody.